Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to my Body and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for what's left of December. Sorry, it's so late. It just, life happens. I hope you are well. This is going to be a general reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates. And if it doesn't, it just doesn't. Nine of Swords. I just literally just took the deck and okay, Nine of Swords as your current energy, apparently. A lot of anxiety in the air. And I think I've seen it for the past three readings, so you're not the only one, Scorpio. There's this Gemini full moon happening in 2 days, and it's going to be quite triggering for many of us. And it's so much going on in Capricorn right now. I mean, like, seriously, it's quite a planet party over there. And not of the, I don't know, it's like, Capricorn has to do with our survival instincts. How are we feeling secure and how we find our worth into the world. Capricorn has to do with status and with how we are being perceived from the outside, our public image, things like this. But mostly is that thing with survival and worth that's triggering for each and every person on this planet. I mean, these are pretty heavy subjects, and you have Saturn and Pluto in there. And Jupiter just moved to Capricorn, and Venus is in Capricorn, and who else? Yeah, it's quite intense. The Empress, beautiful, but she comes as your challenge. Let's see what's that about. Let's see what's your focus now. The Moon. All right. That's good. All right, now let's see what is your advice. The Two of Pentacles is your advice. And what's the future energy? Where is this taking you? All right, well, shit, that's a lot here. Let's take them now. It's the Three of Swords, the Page of Swords, the Eight of Swords, and the Five of Wands. Quite a journey, Scorpio. Quite a journey. Okay, and bottom of the deck, the Star. So this is all happening in the background of the Star, which is healing. You're going through a healing process. You're going through, but it's like, I know that we can have already a visceral reaction when we hear these words. Like, oh my God, another month of healing. I've had enough of that healing. It's all so painful. I don't want that anymore. And probably that's why you have this Nine of Swords here. But anyway, let's clarify the cards before we even go any deeper. I'll do the Crowley this time. Yeah, I think it's actually great that it's happening, and I think that it makes sense with the end of the year that all this is kind of lining up for you. So we have the Queen of Discs with the Nine of Swords as your current energy. What's this? We have the Nine of Swords with the Empress as your challenge. And in this deck, the Nine of Swords is called Cruelty. We'll see about how's that playing out with the Empress over there. Now let's see the focus for you, my dear Scorpio. The Chariot with the moon. This is Cancer energy. And the moon, I think normally it's Pisces, but I really feel it into it like Cancer energy. Because the moon in itself, the planet, the asteroid, whatever it is, it's a symbol. It's symbolized by Cancer. So from the way I read it, it takes me much more into Cancer energy. All right, let's see what is the advice here for you. The Knight of Discs. And this is taking you to the Four of Discs, which in this deck is called Power. Not bad at all. Not too shabby. Okay, and with the Star, we have the Three of Pentacles, or Three of Discs here, that is called Works. So this month, or whatever, it's you know, they're not exactly time coming right on time, and like the 31st is going to end, and there are going to be shifts, but this is an energy that you find yourself in for a period of time that's around a month. And there's this healing going on, having to do with the way you navigate into the world, like into the physical reality, into the here and now. But it's not conceptual. It's not about the ideas. It's not about the feelings and the emotions. It's about the actual things, the people, the career, the money, the relationships, everything. And I think that, you know, we found ourselves in quite interesting energy. We had the Scorpio season last month. Now we're in Sagittarius season. And it makes sense that you've gone deep with that whole energy over there. And now it's sort of like the conclusion of it. Also the end of the year. And we're moving into Capricorn at the end of December, not so far away from now, actually. So it makes sense, because also everything that we learn in the Scorpio season, and then we kind of adjusting our philosophy of this Sagittarius season right now is going to start being applied into the world of the Capricorn season later. And it's going to play out around all those themes that I talked about earlier, with the worth and the financial security and the public image and the sort. So, yeah, I think it's definitely going to work out for you. You are doing some very important work, and it's going to have an impact into your everyday life. It's not going to go unnoticed. Like, okay, yeah, one of those other healings periods where I've just hit the rock bottom, and then I just went back up just a little bit in order to keep functional. I feel like this is really going to take you places. All right. So you have the Nine of Swords and the Queen of Discs as your current energy. The Nine of Swords is anxiety, is fear, is talks about like suppressed thoughts, things that you don't really want to think about because it's scary, because you're somehow afraid that those thoughts are going to make something happen. Or when we have those darker thoughts, sometimes they just pop up, but it sound a little bit cruel, and we just can't recognize them, and we're afraid of them, and we're just like, oh my god, I could never, no, this is horrible, I can't think like this is bad. But what's important is, first of all, we're not our thoughts. So thoughts can come and they can go, and it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a bad person because I had a thought that was cruel. We are wired in this way. We are really, we still have our animal body and our animal instincts, and our thoughts are just interpretation approximations, and your brain is a problem solving machine, so it has a cool thinking, trying to solve the problems. But what we need to do in this case is to start coming into the body with the Queen of Discs here, like really coming into the more nurturing qualities of you. And you have them, you just as anyone else, Scorpio. You have this nurturing quality somewhere within you, that sort of like proverbial mother, and embody that mothering energy, and work with what you have here in the background. Like if a child comes to you and says that, says some horrible childish thought, words, children actually can be so cruel with each other, and because they don't know, they don't understand these things. And what we do is we educate them, we tell them that, okay, that's these type of words or this type of thinking isn't productive or helpful or kind. So we teach them how to value different things, right? Wow, as I'm saying this right now, like I feel a very, very intense energy in my heart space. Ooh, wow, that's very, very strong. So I think that, yeah, it is current energy, right? So I think that this Queen of Swords, Queen of Discs here is somewhat present within you right now, and she's going to be your ally whenever you connect in this energy of, okay, groundedness, nurturing, taking care of your body, taking care of your emotions, taking care to get enough sleep, to eat well, to really get into your senses. It's going to allow your mind to go through this cycle, and for all this to sort of like come out as, and for you to come to terms with it. And the Queen of Discs is like the minor arcana empress, basically. And I find it very interesting that here they came like, okay, the empress actually came as your challenge, and the Nine of Swords again. And with the actual labor of cruelty on it. It is hard to love ourselves when darker parts of ourselves surface. It really is. I mean, like, it's really hard to not want to hide or deny whatever we witnessed within ourselves or we experienced. When we lose it, when we yell at someone and we say horrible stuff, when we um just walk on the street, and instead of like feeling that loving, kind person, I feel annoyed at each and every person I see. And if somebody's touching me or next trips, or there's any tiny little accident, I feel like I would explode, and things like this can happen. And it's really hard to love myself in these moments. I speak in the I person, but I mean us. Sorry, I hope that makes sense to you. Um, The Empress does talk about self love a lot, about somebody who's like fully empowered within herself. Is a very feminine energy. Is to all about Venus here, as you can tell. Um, and actually, with Venus in Capricorn now, having this super heavy conversation with each and every participant in there, with Pluto, with Pluto, which is actually your ruling planet, right? And it's integrating all those deep transformations that we've experienced in your season last month, and that you're still present with them somewhat this month. I think this conversation needs to happen, between the part of you that is seeking power, but the part of you that goes into taboo sometimes to seek attention, not just for actually transforming. For the part of you that if not if suppressed and shoved under your subconscious mind, can create tiny monsters and drive you into dark places. But the Empress is coming here to soften up this whole very edgy energy of the Nine of Swords, to have this conversation with Pluto and with Saturn and with everyone in Capricorn, and say it's okay. It's okay. Whatever you've been feeling, whatever you've been doing, the type of work that you've had to put out there, the emotions that we sometimes feel, and the thoughts that we sometimes think, we don't need to act from them. We can feel them, we can observe them, and they come and they go. In Buddhist philosophy, they say that everything is impermanent. And if we really realize this, if we realize impermanence fully, then we can get enlightened. We're not necessarily talking about enlightenment here, but we can talk about impermanence is natural, and transformation is natural, and everything we're going to everything that has a beginning has an end. I don't really know why I came to this point though, but I felt completely drawn into it, and now I feel like, oh wait, where was this going? It's quite intense. I'm seeing now the crops here growing, and I'm seeing the swords having a very similar color and position. And there's blood from these swords. The part of us that's cruel is still just trying to protect us, or it's also acting from that place in the shadow, because it doesn't have space for expression. The thoughts are coming and going. I think that's where the whole impermanence discussion started, but your thoughts will come and go. Don't hold on to them, but don't push them away either. Allow yourself to hold this space of real kindness and nurturing in order for these thoughts to show up. Because if I'm being judgmental, if I'm blaming myself, and if I'm covering myself in shame, I'm only going to push these thoughts further down onto my subconscious mind, and they're going to drive me. We need to bring them on top of the line of awareness, as Campbell says in his diagram. Your focus is the moon with the chariot. It's water. That's good. Because you're familiar with it. The moon talks about facing your fears. This little crab here wants to go out on this journey and leaving its comfort zone, its environment, and he sees these two scary animals, the wolf and the dog, howling at the moon. Of course, he's terrified, but some type of challenge that needs to be faced. And the secret with this card is that these two representative of the fear can become your allies if you are taking the time to stay with them, to tame them. And this anxiety comes obviously from something that has to do with fear, and it's probably fear of moving forward, because you don't really know where you're going. You see this path here is just like going somewhere there up on the top of the mountain, and mountains also means challenging, and you need to deal with these fears as well that are just like really paralyzing. Well, the chariot as your focus, I think that you do have the energy, you do have the commitment, you do have all the physical resources that you need to face this, and to really allow this to surface up, to allow yourself to be present for your thought process, and for whichever side of you showed its face and you didn't like it, and hold that nurturing space for it and move forward with that, amazing loving energy that they can forgiveness and forgiveness of yourself, because if you hold like, even if we don't always want to bring into our awareness certain thoughts, we sometimes feel guilty just for thinking them and then shoving them off immediately. So that's why I'm saying that sometimes we need forgiveness for this. We need to forgive ourselves, and we need to let go of the ideas we have of ourselves based on our thoughts. Again, we are not our thoughts. You're moving forward. You are. And as a focus, okay, it's also like to trust your intuition. The moon talks about intuition. And again, the full moon's coming in today, so I think it's somewhat important for you. It's really important for you to stay present with this moon, and to be gentle with yourself in this one. It's a Gemini full moon, right, which is swords energy. So it kind of makes sense whether you have so much like swords energy passing through you and becoming so intense. And gosh, the energy I'm feeling in my body with this reading is so intense. Wow. Okay, so your advice basically is to keep your balance as much as you can, and to allow for this movement that it's happening, this shift that's happening in your being, in your consciousness. Allow it to happen at its own pace. It is as it is for a reason, because you've been going deep. You've been scooping a little bit, and this healing is like after the tower fell, there's fresh wounds there. But you're making this work. And yes, in order to get to this Three of Pentacles, you need to go through the Two of Pentacles. And this Two of Pentacles is keeping this balance. And so you have more than two balls in the air, and you're like, okay, I can do it. It doesn't need to be forever. Everything is impermanent, remember. And your emotional state seems to be quite. Look at the waves here. It's like quite agitated. You may have like a lot of course, with all this fear, like your emotional state can't be fantastic, but this is your advice to like keep going. You're okay. You can do this. You have all the strength, you have all the wisdom, and you have deep intuition that can guide you through this journey here. And with the Knight of Discs, like this is slowly but surely you're getting there. You're making this work. You by applying whatever balancing tools you've gathered into your life, something that can keep you, as I said, grounded, like coming into your senses, mindfulness, whatever mindfulness practices you can, or you can get yourself trained into. Just some simple breath work sometimes takes you really far. This is too, so it does talk about emotions. Um, it's important right now to use whatever tools you can to keep your emotional balance in a grounded, steady way. Don't look for quick fixes. This is what I'm getting with this Knight of Discs here. I mean, like, take your time with it. And see, it creates this infinity here. I mean, like, you're tapping into serious knowledge here. You're tapping into mm, you're tapping into the ways of the universe that may come to you quite intuitively. Trust your intuition right now. Okay, so let's see what's this army of things going on. Okay, so probably these are the things that you've been holding here into your subconscious mind, whatever you perceive as competition, whatever heartbreak you've maybe be suffering from the past, and the processing actually of your of that, of your emotions. And this Eight of Swords, like wherever you felt powerless, wherever you felt like you can't really do anything for yourself or change your circumstances. I just saw here Three of Swords. The Empress is number 3. This is the Three of Pentacles. There's a lot of things starting to come together for you here. Start working. Like your I now have the image of a clock, like one of those mechanical clocks, and like the wheels start like ticking, and it's moving. It starts working through. And this is what this Three of Swords actually talks about, like alignment, like having, like releasing something that you perceived as pain. And maybe it felt like betrayal, like abandonment, like being left out here in the wayside, abused. And it might have been a lot of abuse happening to you. Now, this is a healing journey. You're allowing, like with the Three of Swords, you're allowing yourself to see the swords are aligning with the heart. They're not wounding the heart. There's no blood coming from here. So you're allowing this swords energy, this allowing yourself to process the pain that whatever happened to you here caused. And you're allowing yourself to see how you can use this to not to compete, but rather to put yourself out there. Put yourself out there and allow yourself to show more of yourself, of what can you do, your gifts, your talents. Friendly competition in games. Now the Page of Swords, there's a lot of clarity coming in around all this. Wherever you've been a victim. And I don't there's too much talk about victimhood mentality. Yes, of course, that's there, but it's understandable for a lot of people that have been victims of abuse and whatever. But it is important to understand also that we survived that. Whatever abuse we might have suffered, and I think the word whatever here is not nice, but I don't really know what else to bring. The abuse that we may have suffered, or you may have suffered, you have survived it. And part of your healing journey is to really bring that message home within yourself, that you've survived the abuse, that you can process now whatever. You can see a therapist, you can do the work that you are able to do and process all that pain and set yourself free from this. Feel within it, feel within your body, feel into the feel what it means to be you now. And Page of Swords are like, I feel like this is gonna clear out a lot for you. And see, it's coming with the Four of Pentacles, which this deck is called Power. You're getting your power back here, baby. You're getting your power back. Your mind is going to, I mean, like, you're allowing yourself to set yourself free from that cage, that mind cage that had been created in that moment of abuse. And if there wasn't abuse, maybe it's just that moment, that limiting belief that you may have gathered from somewhere, that you're not you just can't, it's that feeling that I can't do something, I feel powerless somehow. I think I remember your last month reading was from powerlessness to fully empowered. And I think you've had a taste of this. This to completely address and release, but you're doing the work, and that's hard work to do, Scorpio. So I salute you for that. You are. Okay, let's see what Rumi says. Oracle from Alana Fairchild, the Rumi Oracle. You know who Rumi is, I hope. It's a poet. He used to be a poet. He died. A Sufi poet. Taking the path of the heart. Let's see what message we have from the wisdom of the heart. Merciful Mother Jamal. See that whole thing with the mother. You have, as I said, the Empress and the Queen of Discs here. And I think that you really need to embody this mother yourself. This is number 44. 8. 44. I think it's the last card in this whole, yeah, it's the last card, which is an end of cycle. As I said, it's this wrapping up of the year. So this the poem from Rumi says, "Oh, sudden resurrection, oh, countless blessings, oh, blazing fire in the jungle of thoughts. Today you arrive with laughter to break open the jail." Rumi. Ah, yes, thank you. To break open this jail. So, oh, sudden resurrection, this is what the star feels like. Oh, countless blessings, oh, blazing fire in the jungle of thoughts. Today you arrive with laughter to break open the jail. I really, really love this. Let's see what's the guidance for you. Okay, so you're being asked to take stock of your own thoughts. Yes, thank you. You're being asked to take stock of your own thoughts and attitudes. Having to be tough and play hardball in the past had served its purpose. Yet this oracle comes to you with guidance to become softer in your way and your attitude. Okay, this is what you have, these two ladies here. Can you gently but firmly place to one side the judge within, the one who keeps score and demands retribution, an eye for an eye, the exponent of absolute justice? Can you invite instead the one who gentles the aggressive lord within and allows him to bow before the great lady who loves, is wise, and who steadies the workings of the world with the softest of touches? Don't fear that if you suddenly give yourself a break, all your discipline, hardness, toughness, and suffering will go to waste. No. All things provide learning and serve divine purpose. But now there is no reason to continue in that way. It is time to learn another way. You are strong enough now to become gentle. There is a foe, if there is a foe or fight in your life, ask for the Mother of Mercy to bless it into resolution. If you have also drawn, blah, 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 you didn't. We're not doing that. Anyway, you're being told now that you can stand your ground and remain in your strength without having to become aggressive or hard. See, this is kind of why this card appeared here, because it's not the Five of Swords, which is about aggressiveness and hardness. It's the Five of Wands, which is more about playfulness. And so it's a friendly competition. These people aren't going to hurt each other. They're just playing around. They're training in a sense. It's like a game. You have more power than you realize, and it is in your being. This power that we were talking about here. It is contained inside this is like a sort of like a boundary. Okay, wait, where was I? You have more power than you realize, and it is in your being. It is not in your ability to control others or manipulate situations, for such actions are unworthy of a being of your magnitude and are unnecessary for your success. You are also being given the message that your prayers are powerful. Although action in the world is a part of our your soul purpose and plan, when you pray, have conviction that your prayers are real, are heard, and are responded to by the great universal heart. So pray carefully and thoughtfully. Be present and speak as if you were speaking to your dearest, oldest, and most influential and powerful friend, because of course that is exactly what you are doing. Pray from the heart and trust in the power of your prayers. There is no limit to what you can pray about, nothing too unspiritual or unworthy, nothing. So pray. This oracle brings you the message that the great power of compassion is reaching for you, that it wants to help you, but is waiting for you to ask. So ask, then you shall receive. In order to let go of all this like part of you that's feeling sharp and cruel, it can be very cruel to yourself especially, than to others. You need to allow this feminine energy to gentle it out. So allow yourself to ask for help. Allow yourself to ask either to reach out to friends or family or whoever is available to you, and also do pray to your higher self, to the divinity, to what is it that you believe in. Okay, Scorpio, I hope this makes sense for you. It's a healing journey. It's a beautiful journey. I feel very inspired looking at these cards, and I do thank you for doing your inner work. And yeah, I wish you have an amazing month and great holidays and happy new year. And I'll see you here soon. If you do resonate with this reading, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you here soon. Bye bye.